This show brought to you by Circle of Seven Productions, www.cosproductions.com. Please be sure to subscribe and welcome to our circle.
Hello, everybody. This is Readers Entertainment Radio, and I am Patricia W. Fisher, and I am so happy to be talking to you guys today about a new fabulous author to me, as well as her wonderful books. I wanted to give a big shout-out to all of you that celebrate National Chicken Dance Day. That is today. So, throw down some music and polka around your dining room table if you have nothing else to do today. But before you get too involved in a good chicken dance, you really should pick up an amazing book, or several amazing books, by the author we'll be talking about today. Twyla Turner was born in Joliet, Illinois, and was almost immediately enamored with all things entertainment, and she yearned for something more. She wrote her first story in the 3rd grade and fell in love with creating a whole new world. It wasn't long before she started self-publishing, and her first novel, Starstruck. She's interested in science and animals and wanting to be the next Oprah, which I could totally see. And she has traveled extensively. She also absolutely loves hearing from her fans, and she writes amazing books. She's a champion for the underdog, and she writes interracial erotic romance with very curvy heroines, and I absolutely love that. To date, she has 17 published works, 15 full-length novels, 2 novellas, and her brand is Novels with Curves, celebrating our beautiful imperfections. Welcome to the show, Miss Twyla Turner. How are you today, my dear? Are you there? Twyla, are you there? Well, it says she's in the queue. Just we'll give her a second. But while we are waiting for her, I wanted to give a big shout-out to everybody who's working really hard in the health industry to take care of everyone right now, other than the normal busy traffic that people get this time of year. After I worked in the ER, I know that May can be a month of slow down when it comes to cold and flu season, but then allergies hit and asthma, and then, of course, injuries because people are outside more. And then now we have COVID-19. So, please, everyone, stay safe and stay well. And, we are thinking about you, and we very much appreciate what you're doing, as well as all the people who are coming into work and working in everything from doctor's offices to restaurants to, the garbage truck guys came today, all that. So we very much appreciate all of you, and thank you for everything you're doing. So let's see if we can get Twyla on here. Are you there, dear? Twyla,
Hello?
Are you there? Hi, there you are.
Hi. Oh,
Yay.
my goodness. I'm here.
I know.
So
It's like
sorry.
you're in the
I don't
queue.
know what happened.
Who knows? So it all works out.
I moved rooms. Yeah, I moved rooms.
No worries. So you're doing okay today?
Yes, I am. Beautiful sunny day in Phoenix, Arizona. So, yeah.
Yeah. We have the same here. We had a big storm come through last night in San Antonio. And so I know you guys get some pretty crazy storms out there as well. So
yes.
Yeah, it can be just beautiful like this, and then of course, 5 hours later you're looking at black clouds. You're like, I'm not so into that. So yeah.
Yeah, and we get the dust storms, so it's crazy.
Yes. So I was, I'm all about the nature stuff. Like you love animals and everything, and I'm sure you've probably seen some of the documentaries about all these animals that burial. One of them was the desert. It says, and the naturalist is always very philosophical when they're talking on as the narrator, and it's and it looks like there's no life here, and then they have all the flooding, and the rain, and then these frogs come out of nowhere, and you're like, whoa, are you kidding me? So I mean, it's always very interesting to see all these different things. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually have wild horses here, and I'm from Illinois, and so I'm like, wild horses? This is beyond my even understanding. And I've seen them, and they're gorgeous.
Well, so So when you moved you moved all over. You didn't have a straight move from Illinois to Arizona, correct? It was, you moved all over and then, right. So
yeah,
what was your biggest,
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, dear.
Oh, I was going to just say that I went from Illinois, and I lived in Japan for a year teaching English. And then when I got back to Illinois, one of the friends that I made while being in Japan was from California. And I ended up moving to California for like 4 years and then to Arizona. So, yeah.
Yeah. What part of California were you in?
Long Beach. I was in Long Beach. And, it's quite gorgeous. Well, being from Illinois, all I knew of Long Beach was like, Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. And so when I got there, it's stunning. And I was so lucky. I got to get a really cheap apartment in a building that used to be like an old 1920s hotel. And it was like right in the heart. It was right in the heart of downtown, and a few walks from the aquarium and the ocean and boat docks. Oh my God, it was such an amazing place to live, but it just became just my job at the time, and I was struggling. And so when my parents retired to Arizona, I said, "Can I come with you?"
Yeah,
so that's how I'm here. Yeah.
But please tell me you wrote about all those experiences in Long Beach, because it is. I mean, I've been to that area, but you know what surprises me the most about that area is it gets cold. Like that Pacific Ocean is cold.
Yes. And I did. Actually, my first book was set in Long Beach. So, so yeah, I did. I'm basically my first book. I was trying to teach myself to write a novel, and so really, like, the character was based off me. And my fantasy. And so that's kind of how I went with it. And like, she lived in the same building I lived in, kind of thing. And so, Long Beach was really great for inspiration, for sure.
Yeah. How long did it take you to write that first book? Like, from the time you said that catalyst that said, you know what, I'm going to write a book, to the time you wrote the end and it was ready to be printed. How long did that take?
Okay. Well, I'm going to try and make it as short as possible. But
we got time. You're fine.
Weird. Yeah. It was kind of weird. Like, in February of 2013, I had started writing it, and I only got like a chapter and a half in, and then I stopped.
Okay.
And I am the worst. I am a procrastinator, and I'm also a never finish what I start kind of person. And so, so I put it to the side and forgot about it. And when I moved, and that was when I was still in Long Beach. And then when I moved to Arizona, my mom and I went up to Sedona for a psychic fair or whatever. We just like doing that kind of stuff. So we went to the psychic fair in Sedona, and Sedona has what they call vortexes. Like, there's these vortex, and there's about 4 of them, I think, up there, where it has like this energy. It's supposed to have an energy, and it's healing energy or something like that. And so we went up. It's gorgeous. It's got the red rocks or whatever. And then once we got back, like, it took about a week. A week later, it was almost as if like someone flipped a switch on in my brain. And I sat down. It was like around, I don't know what time it was. It was like 10 or 11 at night. I picked up my laptop and I just started continuing the story. And it was 15 days later that I was finished with the first draft. And I was like, I can't believe I just did this. And then what's interesting is that light switch has never been flipped off. Now, mind you, sometimes my mom and I went that first time. We went a second time, like literally a week later, and then I didn't go back again for another year or two. And then it was another 3 years before I went back to Sedona. And I had to get back because I just was drained, and my character stopped talking to me, and I had just like no creativity left, and I just could not write, and it scared me. Like, oh no, I can't write. It's not coming, and I don't know what to do. And I go, I haven't been to Sedona in 3 years. Maybe that's why. And I went.
Okay.
My mom and I went, and we took a Jeep tour. And then when we came back, a week later, I started writing again.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
This was last year. So I absolutely recommend to creative people or people who need any kind of healing to visit Sedona, Arizona. It is.
There you go.
I don't know. It's miraculous.
Yeah. Well, and I always love it when I hear authors say, well, my character stopped talking to me, because writers, anybody who has that muse, just kind of nods. Of course, people who don't really get it are saying, should we call somebody for you? It's like, no, it's honestly, it's normal. And it's fun to hear that. But, you know, there's been a lot of discussion in the past couple of years about, you know, own voices and characters having, you know, people writing about, you know, themselves and their worlds and their lives, and it's not always the traditional cookie cutter type situation. When you were initially writing those characters, was there ever doubt in your mind? Because I know the publishing industry it's still catching up, but and writers have to push the boundaries because readers are asking for these stories. So. Yeah. Was there ever a time in your life that your character said, well, maybe I should be this or that instead, or did you always feel very passionate about making sure they were exactly what you had imagined?
There was a moment that because, you know, my primary story or my primary genre is like interracial. And so there was a moment where I was like, should I write quote unquote mainstream, you know? And I thought to myself, no, I have to write what inspires me. I have to write the stories, the untold stories of, I guess, curvy Black women, like, because that's what I am. And, you know, that's what I am. And that's what I craved growing up. Because growing up, you know, oh my goodness, the library visits and leaving with stacks of romance novels. And, you know, and reading Johanna Lindsay and Judith McNaught and Laverne Spencer, and like reading, and Nora Roberts, reading all of those, and I didn't see myself in them, but I still loved them, but I didn't see myself in them. And so, you know, when I started writing, like, it was just one of those things. I'm just like, I just want to write the story that I've wanted to read my whole life. And so with every book that I go into, I write the story that I've always wanted to read. So I have to stay true to what I want, like, no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, did you have a time where someone said, why don't you write about this? So, like a more mainstream thing. Did you have that pushback at all? Oh, you did. Okay.
Well, I mean, what was interesting, it was just like a friend and her husband were just like, well, why not write mainstream or whatnot? And I go, well, I'm just like, I almost feel like everybody should write what they know and give a chance for someone else to write theirs. Like I don't know, like I feel that there's certain characters that I don't want to touch because I want people who are well, I mean, I could research them for sure, but people who are that thing or experience that thing to write that, you know, like I don't want to write LGBTQ because I don't want to get it wrong. And I'm just like, you know what? I will let LGBTQ authors have that space, you know? And so that's kind of why I'm like, no, I totally want to write, you know, my interracial characters. That's just where my head is at. And so, but it's interesting how little pushback I've had. And I know some other authors who write interracial might have had more, but for some reason I haven't had a whole lot of it. I did have someone ask me just recently in my direct messages, they're just like, is that all you write? And I said, absolutely. And they're like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to fight. This is what I write. So, yeah.
Right.
it's not too bad.
And you wanna write what speaks to you. I mean, it's like anything. If you don't have passion about the characters and their journey, and you're just kind of writing like fill in the blank here, readers know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you said the comment about writing LGBTQ, because I've had plenty of people in my life over the years who are part of the LGBTQ community and still are, and it's that feeling of I want to write a story about love is love, but then it's like, well, what am I going to miss because I'm not in that world? The everyday little things. And so you want to do right by whatever you script. So but you don't want. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
The authenticity, there are little itty bitty things to day life that we may not know or understand that they experience, and so I just feel like they might tell their story better than I could tell their story. Mind you, I absolutely will read, but I just I'll let you handle it. I'm like, I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to mess up your story. So.
Right. Well, I mean, it's kind of like, too, I think that years ago I went to a talk, and there was a very lovely speaker who talked about writing about places you've never been. And she said, you can look up, the town and geography and all that other stuff and even talk to people from there, but there's really nothing like being, immersed.
It's true.
So there's certain, if you're walking, like you've been to Sedona, I could look up a bunch of stuff about Sedona. But I'm not going to know what the air smells like, and I'm not going to know what it feels like when the sun comes up over the mountains. There's a different feeling versus someone who's trying to write about San Antonio who's never been here, but I live here. It's one of those, and it doesn't mean you can't do it, but like you're saying, you want the passion and the trueness of it in there.
Yeah. I try to go ahead.
Oh, it just basically it can be done. Like we're saying, it can be done. But you're right. I mean, I've been doing a lot of listening the past few years, as opposed to just trying to, I guess, thinking I could fix stuff. And I think I've learned a ton. Yeah, because it's that feeling of, okay, let's all listen and to each other. And there's something about you want to make everybody happy, and it's that sometimes people need to vent. They need to get it out.
It's a knee-jerk reaction to want to fix. Like, I want to fix. And it's just like, no, just listen. So
I'm doing a lot of listening lately, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad. So tell me about, you have this wonderfully, and let me say, sexy cover on your newest book called Rock the Curves. So tell me about your story and how you came up with it.
Well, it was interesting. About the beginning of the year, someone on Facebook, I swear a lot of my ideas come just so randomly, and someone on Facebook said something about maybe they mentioned Rockstar Romance, or they mentioned they asked a question to authors like, what trope have you not written that you're interested in writing? And it was one of those things like, man, I haven't written a Rockstar Romance, and I love Rockstar romances. So I go, I'd like to do that. And so I opened up my laptop, and I have kind of a notebook feature on my laptop, and so I like to, when an idea comes to me, to write it down or type it down, and I was just like, okay, so interracial romance, how exactly would this dynamic work? Like, what could the storyline possibly be? And I go, well, he's this beautiful guy who has this amazing career, and she's an aspiring solo artist, and and she's Black and curvy, and that's not always what is wanted, in the music industry. And so I go, well, that's perfect. I'm just like, oh, that would be so perfect and create perfect conflict, because she would resent him for that. But then obviously he has a little bit more to him than she realizes. And so I kind of typed a little loose-based, description of the book and then left it alone. And then an author friend posted, because it was from a pre-made, cover, and the website is Covers in Color. And so she posted it. She said, "I don't have time to write this story, but someone has to take this gorgeous cover." And I saw it and immediately was like, "Oh my God, that's my rock star and that's my aspiring solo artist." Absolutely. And so I said, I have to buy it. I don't care if I don't have enough money. I will eat ramen for a month.
Yep.
Sandwiches. All about sandwiches. Yes. And so I purchased it, and then I'm proud of myself. I was the one that came up with the idea of using the guitar for the O in rock. And so I'm like, and she of course was like, "Oh, that was such a great idea." and that just came together, and literally the cover is what inspired me to get to the story and start writing it. And I've never done that before. I've always done the cover. Either I'm done or I'm almost done with a book when I either create a cover myself or hire someone to do it for me. So this was the first time that I had the cover first, and it was just so gorgeous that I have to. I'm like, I have to write the story right now. So that's basically how it came about.
So did you base your Rockstar guy and your lovely heroine on any particular people out, that we would know, famous people, or was it just kind of it's like if you put this person in, who played it in a movie, who would you have them play?
I kind of did a mashup of people in my mind, and for him, I don't know. There's this beautiful man, and right now I can't remember his name. This beautiful man. He's actually Spanish from Spain, and oh my God, he's just drop dead gorgeous. And I go, and that has to be him. That has to be him. But at the same time, I don't know. A friend of mine said this, and I go, you know what? You're kind of right. But she mentioned Milo Ventimiglia from the show This Is Us. I'm like, oh, yeah, he does look like she said the guy on the cover kind of favored him. And I'm like, he does. And yes. And then she's kind of a combination of, at least physically, and attitude-wise, a combination of Jill Scott and Lizzo, that kind of thing. But the thing about his past, and who he was before when he was a child, that I talk about in the very beginning of the book, but I don't know if I want to give that away. But that his impediment that he had, I actually got that from Joe Biden randomly, because Joe Biden had recently mentioned it and talked to a kid about it, about how he had that same issue when he was younger. And I go, why not make my rock star have that, as at a young age, that kind of shaped the person that he is. And so, I swear my characters are often mashups of different people combined.
Oh, for sure. You'll have they look like this person, but they sing like this person, and they act like, there's always the mashup.
Exactly.
Yeah. Milo was on a show called Heroes. What was that, 10 years ago? Yeah, he played a nurse on that, which I thought was great. And then there's Mel Tillis. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he was a country singer for years, and he had a horrible stutter. But when he sang, he did not stutter. He did not.
Oh.
So,
and see, and that was just totally random that I thought of that. I'm just like, what if he had a stutter, and then when he sang, he didn't? I had no idea that there was someone out there that really was, that was how they sing. Oh my God, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, I'm laughing because if you're having like aspects of Joe Biden in this, and then what romance author said that she had based one of her heroes on Dr. Fauci recently. She was like it's an old. So yes, all the Democratic players are all in romance novels. Like, Stacey Abrams going to lead the way. We're going to make a whole series of Democratic romances. It's going to be.
If I knew more about politics, I totally would. But I feel like I don't know enough to get by on on writing it, and then trying to research it. I don't know. I don't know.
You can only watch so much Schoolhouse Rock.
Confusion. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I'm a bill on Capitol Hill.
That's right. And I also I did, like a couple of years ago, I was like, you know what, I'm insane because I'm just trying to figure out all of the levels and who has what and where everything is. I mean, I know there's 3 branches of power and I know where people sit, but like the specifics. And I actually bought a U.S. Government for Dummies. I did.
Yeah.
I bought it.
That's probably
Mind you, I've not read
idea.
it. I have not read it, but I have it. So I took that first step.
It's just so boring. It's so boring.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. But we should know the basics. I mean, it's important.
The basics.
Yes, let's do that. So do you have another book that's going to swing off of this one, a sequel to any of the characters in Rock the Curves?
I actually, it hadn't occurred to me at all. Like, I was kind of like, this is a standalone. Like, I'm kind of, especially because I shy away from series because I have such a hard time concentrating on one thing before my mind is flitting off to something else. So, so I have 2 series that are in the works now. Like, I have 2 books from a 4-part series, and then 1 book from a 3-part series. They're all, like standalone, like each couple has their own story, but they're all connected kind of thing. And I have that going on, and so I'm like, I can't even think about putting another series on my plate because I already have readers ready to commit mutiny because I haven't finished the others. So I'm kind of doing this I'm attempting, I don't know if my brain will allow it, but I'm attempting to do like a book from one of the series, then a random standalone, then another book from the other series, and then a random standalone. Like, I'm trying to do like every other. And just so that I can give my brain a break from one series, instead of finishing it all at once, which I should. But
do you have a routine for your writing?
It's kind of. For the most part, I'm actually a morning writer, and not a nighttime. I wish I was a nighttime. I wish I was that, burning the midnight oil kind of writer. But by that time, I can't function. So, so I'm a wake up at 6 a.m. And get my coffee and sit down and start writing. And then I'm what do I want to call it? I'm a plotting pantser. I write like character description, what's their motivation, and a loosely based, and then I start writing. And I start writing, and I have an idea of kind of where I want it to go, but I just kind of write. And then once I get to the middle, which is always the hardest for me, to connect the excitement of them meeting and getting to know each other and making love for the first time, to then getting to the end. Like, because that middle is just like, it's so easy to become boring. So that's when I kind of get stuck and I don't know what to do. And then that's when I sit down and will literally do a detailed outline till the end. And and then go back to it. So I'm a plotting pantser.
Okay. Get you started and then, taking off and adding to. So do you have characters that your readers have approached you about and said, what about this person? And it's someone that you say, I had no plans for that person. But they said, but you have to write about that person.
You mean like to write more, like in a series?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have had readers like adamantly. There's a novella that I wrote called The Rescue, and it was just for a little Valentine's Day. The character's name was Val, which was short for Valentine, because their parents were evil like that. And and everybody, I have readers constantly that will, hey, you gotta write a little bit more about Val and Bo? Are you gonna do a whole book for Val and Bo? I'm like, I can't. And then I also, my very first book, Starstruck, people, I think they stopped asking now, but they asked often, like, are you going to write a third book? Guys, unless it comes to me, I can't do it. So I haven't given in yet, but I've had it a lot.
Right. But I mean, that's a huge big deal, because it's funny, we write our characters and they talk to us and all this stuff, and we're super invested. But then when people come to us that have read our stories and they're like super invested and they're asking questions, it's a little bit unnerving in a way, because first you're like, oh, thank you for reading my book and thank you for liking my characters, but you do know these are fictitious people, right? But they're really invested. So it's
really
a big compliment.
Invested. Super. I mean, it's huge, but it's one of those, it's a catch-22 kind of thing, because it's like, without that, like, I don't even know, like, sometimes you imagine if you didn't get this kind of love that you wouldn't be able to keep going sometimes, because it's hard. But at the same time, you're just like, you're so grateful for the love, but at the same time, you're like, please leave me alone.
Please stop talking about it.
I'm like, I feel so bad, but I'm just like, I can't. Because I get harassed a lot, especially for those 2 series that I need to get done. At the very least, once a week, I get, are you going to finish the Curvy Girls Club? Are you going to finish Bound Through Time? Like, at least once a week. And so I will, I swear. I will.
I promise. As soon as I get off this radio interview, I will write something, I swear.
Oh, man. And
yes,
I swear,
will.
I'm just like, if I don't, I feel like they might show up at my house at some point. They might show up. I'm like, I have to get this done. But yeah.
Well, and it's even harder when you have friends that, they're not writers, but they love your books and they know you, and they can actually call you on the phone and say, hey, what are you doing right now? I'm like, oh, I'm doing you're not writing? I'm like, oh, well, thanks. That was a setup, I'm not answering the phone next time you call.
Yeah. Oh, my favorite is being on Facebook. If I'm on Facebook and I'm just, randomly enjoying myself, cracking jokes, they're just like, shouldn't you be writing? I'm like,
I know.
Here.
Thanks.
I do need a break.
Yeah. I gotta eat and breathe.
Yes, I just recently had posted about being bored in quarantine, and I said I gotta find something to do, and then I made sure that I said, side note, don't come telling me that I need to write. Because I'm taking a mini break, okay?
Yeah.
Because I know my readers, they would absolutely be like, well, if you're bored, you could always start writing that book.
That's right.
Yeah, I got a DM from a reader just a couple days ago, and she said, and at first I was like, oh God, the way she started, I'm just like, oh no. She said, the problem with your books are, and I go, oh no.
Oh no.
She said, it takes you months to write them, but only hours for me to read them.
I know.
I'm like, oh, sorry.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, it's almost hostile.
Yeah, I just think about
hostile.
how long it takes me to agonize over this, storyline that I'm trying to make just perfect.
Yes.
And again, you appreciate the love, but sometimes you're like, okay, but I gotta breathe now. So
sometimes the scene could take a week to write, and they read it in like a few minutes, and it's like, look, that took me like a week to write. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the killer is like,
stressful.
and the killer is always, okay, so I spent all day writing the scene, and then I realized I only needed like 500 words out of it. So now I gotta, it's like, what do I have to do with the rest of the story?
Yes, and that also includes all the research that you'll sometimes do. You'll do all this research for it to be like one sentence.
Yeah, because you want to make it correct. You want to make it accurate.
Yes, exactly. Whew, yeah, it's a lot. I'm getting anxiety just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's that rabbit hole of, I've talked to a lot of authors about, doing research and not going down the rabbit hole. And Camille DeMaio was on a couple of weeks ago talking about that because she wrote about the Hotel Emma here in San Antonio. And then, but my favorite by far is Beverly Jenkins' comment, because she talked about how she was writing a story that set in like 1800s New Orleans. And it's nighttime, and she's like, I know there's going to be frog sounds. So she's trying to figure out what these frogs would sound like and then what frogs they would be. And then she says 3 hours later, she's still looking at frogs and finds out that there's a dude who had a frog circus that would travel all over with these frogs. And she said, nobody's going to care about that, And so I said, well, what did you finally write? She said, and there were frog sounds in the air. Okay. After all that research, she says frogs. Doesn't matter.
That is so accurate. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
This rabbit hole of information, and for one sentence that may not even have nearly the amount of information that you've researched. Oh, my God. That's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. And I think we all do it, whether we write, contemporary or historical or even, do sci-fi, because if you do fantasy sci-fi, that world has to be consistent within itself. And so that's like, you have to make sure it all works. And so, but we do love our readers. They are truly fantastic.
And the reason
so
why we often carry on.
Very much. Yeah. It's hard to keep writing when nobody, only person that's reading it is maybe your mom. So, well, and the funniest thing is my mom does read my books, and I have saucy parts in them, which I appreciate that she reads them. But my mother-in-law is not so much of wanting to read a saucy read. And my very first book, she did read it. So when she called and said, so I read your book, and I'm like, why? Really? Yeah. And she's like, oh, okay. I said, well, I thought you just bought it to be supportive. I didn't think you were going to actually read the book. So, yeah.
I asked my parents not to. Like, please don't. And I live with them. Like they're the reason why I can write full time. But I live with them. Yeah. And I said, you can read them when I'm gone. When I'm not here, when either when I'm traveling or moved to somewhere else, go ahead. But as of right now, while I'm sitting here, I don't want you to read that. I don't want you coming to my door constantly knocking like, so, no. Because I get it. I get pretty steamy, like I'm sure you noticed. I get pretty steamy, and I just can't do that.
Quite delicious. Quite delicious.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. So they're always fun. So you've got some other projects coming up this year, but I mean, is there anything that you've wanted to write? Like you wrote your Rockstar Romance, but is there what's still on your to write list? Oh gosh,
I have the Brother's
endless?
Best Friend. Yeah, it's kind of endless. Brother's Best Friend.
Fair.
Like the older brother. And he's got this hot best friend and the younger, like I love that trope. Absolutely want to tackle that. I want to do a Western. And then I have and historical Western at that, which is going to be quite interesting. I also want to do historical World War II, and I want to do, which I'm really, really scared of, but I want to give it a shot anyway. I want to do steampunk fantasy.
Oh, okay.
I love steampunk, and I do love fantasy, and like fairies and dragons and things like that. And so I want to combine the two. And do a steampunk fantasy novel. So I think I was kind of inspired by the Amazon Prime show Carnival Row.
Carnival Row? Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about when you said that.
Yeah. Yeah, it inspired me, and I'm just like, I want to write my own. And then just steampunk in general, it's just so up my alley. I so love the whole vintage modern thing. Like, like my dream house is a converted warehouse with like exposed air ducts and brick walls and things like that. Like that's my dream place to live. And so I just kind of love that whole thing. And so I'm just like, I want to write a steampunk fantasy. So, but I'm scared because it's going to be a lot.
That's okay.
It's going to be a lot to tackle.
It is. But the beauty of it is the admitting that you want to write it, and then you will write it. Yeah, I have no doubt. Yeah, and it'll be fabulous.
Yes.
So I will put it on my pre-order list. So you will need to make sure when you come back, you can tell us all about it. Yes, I want to hear.
Absolutely.
So when do you anticipate your next book release? Like in the next 6 months, before Christmas? What do you think?
I'm definitely hoping for before Christmas. Before Christmas for sure. November seems to be my month. I think it's because one, it's my birthday month, but oftentimes, like, it's really weird. I don't know if you have this same thing, but that I release or write during certain time frames in the year. Every year, almost. It's like, I often will release a book in February. I'll often release a book in like May, and I often will like release. If it's not May, then sometimes June, and then a lot of the time I release in November, and so it's just really weird that it's like the same time every year. It's like, like, is that my zone? Is that the only time I can write and release? Yeah. So I'm hoping around November, and it would be awesome if that would be sooner, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm trying to take a little bit of a break, but
right. And you got to breathe.
You got
to let that brain breathe.
Yeah. Yes. But I have a lot of characters running through my head right now. It's actually, I've never experienced what I'm experiencing right now. I have about 4 stories that are on rotation that, 1 hour I'm thinking about one, and then, a couple hours later I'm thinking about another, and then the next day I'm thinking about the third, and then the next day I'm thinking about the fourth. It's like a constant rotation, and it's like I haven't figured out which one is going to come to like the forefront of my mind, and which one's going to push forward and say, me.
Right.
So,
next time you do, next time you have your book out, or when you have your next book out, please come back and talk to us.
Absolutely. I'd love it. I had so much fun.
I'm so glad. Well, I was talking to Twyla Turner. Her newest book is Rock the Curves. It is out now. And go pick it up, and you can find Twyla on her website, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Goodreads, and BookBub, and all those links are in the write-up of the show. Thank you so much for coming, and this is Readers Entertainment Radio with Patricia W. Fisher.
This show brought to you by Circle of Seven Productions, www.cosproductions.com. Please be sure to subscribe, and welcome to our circle.
The Hollywood Reporter is your ultimate source for awards race news this fall. Go to THR.com to keep up with this award season's expert predictions from executive editor Scott Feinberg, and tune into the Hollywood Reporter's Awards Chatter podcast for exclusive interviews with the biggest names in showbiz. Stay in the loop with daily newsletters providing real-time updates on all the awards action. Subscribe to THR.com for full access to the Hollywood Reporter and never miss a moment of this fall awards season. Visit THR.com today.
I'm Victoria Cash, and I want to invite you to a place called Lucky Land, where you can play over 100 social casino-style games for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. So what are you waiting for? The best way to discover your luck is to spin. So go to LuckyLandSlots.com, that's LuckyLandSlots.com, and get lucky today. At Lucky Land. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.